going on, guys? Austin here, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at 5-Minute Fantasy's Week 17 Booming and Busting Tight Ends. My start of the week I'm going to say is going to be Tyler Higbee for the Los Angeles Rams. He seems to be a guy who, at the beginning of the year he came in and he was supposed to be the featured tight end, but he kind of lost his job early on. But now he's back, after a couple injuries, and going up against Arizona, that's a really favorable matchup for tight ends. So look for him to be a big part of the Rams offense in this Week 17 matchup. I'm also going to say Jonnu Smith for the Titans. With Ryan Tannehill, the Titans have had a really, really explosive offense. And going up against Houston gives up quite a bit of points to tight ends. And Jonnu Smith, in the absence of Delanie Walker, has really shown how valuable he can be as an athlete. I'm also going to say Dallas Goedert against the Giants. I think that they're going to the Philadelphia Eagles are going to try to play this game without Zach Ertz, hoping that they can sit him for the playoffs, expecting that they can win this game against the Giants without him. So expect Dallas Goedert to be a pretty big part of the offensive game plan in this Week 17 pivotal matchup against New York. And then my last start I'm going to say is going to be Noah Fant for the Denver Broncos going up against the Oakland Raiders. The Raiders also are pretty susceptible to the pass. They don't quite have the linebackers and safeties yet to be able to match a tight end like Noah. I don't really think that he's even the second best tight end in his division, but he's a guy that Denver's really been looking forward to starting basically since the years before Peyton Manning. And they had their bigger bodied tight ends. Now going into the sits, I'm going to say Mark Andrews. I don't know whether or not he's going to be starting. He wasn't listed as one of the sits for Baltimore going into this irrelevant game against Pittsburgh. But nonetheless, I like Pittsburgh's defense. I love Minkah Fitzpatrick. Mark Andrews has not been performing that well as of late, so the fact that RG3 is playing and that you're going up against Pittsburgh doesn't bode well for Mark Andrews. I'm also going to say sit Kyle Rudolph. Again, this is one of those situations where I don't know if they're planning on playing him. If they do, it'll probably only be one quarter. But they're definitely not going to be laying their butts out on the line to try to get extra yards, extra points, or anything like that. So be careful if you have him in your lineup. I'm going to say sit Jason Witten. At this point, he's pretty much going to be the last guy that Dak is going to be passing to. The Cowboys, for some reason, have been going much more heavily into a deep passing offense the last couple weeks, which Jason Witten is not a part of. So be careful about starting him against the Washington defense that somehow is starting to look somewhat okay, aside from that game against the Giants, we all know. And then sit Travis Kelce. I like the Chargers defense, especially with Derwin James back. I think that Derwin James, right now, basically between Derwin James, Jamal Adams, and Minkah Fitzpatrick, whoever the best safety over the next 10 years is going to be, is up to those three guys. And we all know that Travis Kelce has had his issues with the bigger bodied, strong safeties like an Earl Thomas or guys like Derwin James. So be careful about that matchup. In a must-win game for Kansas City, I think they're going to win, but I think it's going to be through the faster wide receivers.